My heart began to pound the moment the breaking news banner flashed across the television. Explosion, plane crash, no confirmed survivors. I couldn't breathe. My husband was gone, just like that, reduced to a headline, a scrolling ticker, a voiceover struggling to sound calm. Only hours earlier, I had stood in front of him, smoothing the lapels of his tuxedo, adjusting his tie the way I always did. It was our quiet ritual, familiar, intimate. He smiled at me then, soft, grateful, and kissed me once, then again. The second kiss was deeper, hungrier, the kind that lingers because one of you feels something the other hasn't yet named. Juan always loved like that, emotionally, openly, without restraint. He never rationed affection. He gave it freely, as if love was something you showed, not just said. He was the love of my life. Juan had taught me what real love looked like when we met 12 years ago, at a time when I didn't believe in it anymore. I had just crawled out of months of chaos with my ex, a man who lived loudly and dangerously. Cortez, a successful nightclub owner by the world's standards, a criminal by everyone else's. He lived fast, women, drugs, violence orbiting his life like decorations. He was always known to the police, multiple arrests, multiple charges, but never consequences. Cortez was always lawyered up, always insulated. He had a gift for bending the law until it snapped back in his favor, and a talent for manipulation that made you doubt your own instincts while he destroyed you. Leaving him had nearly broken me. Juan healed what Cortez tried to ruin, which is why the silence in the room now felt impossible, cruel, unbelievable. The man who had saved me from one life had just been ripped out of another. As the screen replayed the footage, smoke, twisted metal, fragments of something that used to fly, I realized with a sickening certainty that whatever had taken Juan from me wasn't finished with my life yet. This wasn't just an ending. It was the beginning of something darker. Cortez didn't go down quietly. The last time he was arrested, luck finally ran out, but not without spectacle. It was messy, complicated, the kind of arrest that made headlines whisper instead of shout. He was taken in alongside his lawyer, a man everyone believed was untouchable, clean, respected, strategic. Several kilograms of drugs were found in the lawyer's car, not Cortez's. The irony was cruel. The man who had spent years manipulating the law had finally dragged the law down with him. They were both charged, convicted, sentenced. 60 years. It was supposed to be the end of him. 12 years ago, I visited Cortez in prison more times than I should have, more times than anyone sane would admit. Each visit stripped something from me, my breath, my certainty, my sense of safety. Yet I kept going, driven by a mix of guilt and unfinished fear. The last visit changed everything. He looked smaller behind the glass, but his eyes were the same, sharp, searching, dangerous. He studied my face like he was reading a confession I hadn't spoken yet. "I can't wait," I told him. My voice didn't shake, even though my hands did. 60 years is a lifetime. I'm moving on with my life. For the first time, Cortez cried, real tears, silent, uncontained. "Who is he?" he asked. The question wasn't curiosity, it was possession. "No one," I replied. Then, after a pause, because the truth mattered, because I needed it to matter, I added, "Honestly, I haven't found anyone." And it was true. There was no man waiting for me. No secret love, no replacement. Just a future I hadn't yet figured out how to live. He stared at me for a long time after that. Long enough for the silence to feel intentional, calculated. I left that prison believing I had closed a door. I didn't realize then that Cortez had never needed to follow me out. Some men don't disappear when you leave them behind bars. They wait. 6 months after my last prison visit, I met Juan. The timing felt impossible, almost disrespectful, to grief, to fear, to the version of myself that still flinched at raised voices and sudden silences. I wasn't looking. I wasn't open. I wasn't healed. And then there he was. Juan was unlike any man I had ever known, strong in the way men used to be, steady, traditional, grounded. He believed in doors being held open, promises being kept, meals eaten together. His strength wasn't loud. It didn't bruise. It protected. He was gracious, kind, gentle in ways that mattered. Gentle in his touch, gentle in bed, gentle with the parts of me that still remembered how it felt to be afraid. Juan didn't demand love from me. He offered it. He became my shining light, the man who brought color back into a life I had only been surviving. With him, affection wasn't currency. It was language. Life felt possible again, normal, hopeful, safe, or so I thought. Because looking back now, there were moments I didn't question, details I dismissed as coincidence. Juan traveled often, always impeccably dressed, always deliberate about his schedules. He never spoke much about his work, only that it required discretion. Once, early on, he asked about my past, about Cortez, not casually, not curiously, carefully. "How long has he been inside?" Juan asked. 60 years, I said. "He'll never get out." Juan nodded, just once, as if filing the information away. If you enjoy gripping drama and stories that keep you guessing, please like, share, and subscribe to support our YouTube channel and help us keep these stories coming your way. Years later, on the morning he died, I adjusted his tie the way I always did. His tuxedo was perfect. His phone buzzed once on the dresser. He silenced it without looking. "Everything okay?" I asked. He smiled at me, kissed me, then kissed me again, longer this time, like a man saying goodbye without permission. "I'll be back before you know it," he said. Hours later, the news called it an accident, an explosion, a plane crash, mechanical failure. But as the footage replayed again and again, I felt something shift inside me, a recognition I didn't want. Because accidents don't feel targeted, and love, real love, doesn't usually walk into danger without knowing exactly where it's going. Somewhere, behind concrete walls and steel doors, a man had once asked me a single question. "Who is he?" And for the first time since the plane fell from the sky, I wondered if Juan had been the answer all along. Please watch out for the continuation of this story. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to support our YouTube channel and help us keep these stories coming your way.